Yes, you read the title of this video right. I went to sleep over the Georgia Aquarium. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, but stick with me. Proof, I actually went. I got some funny little things. Look at this. This is funny. Look at this. Look at this. It was actually super easy, and I was able to do some amazing things. I recorded with my beautiful Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and I also was able to take some nice photos with my PaperShoot camera. So if you continue the video, you get to see me and my chaotic family's trip to the aquarium, and we'll do everything from start to finish, how everything went, how the photos came out, and I'll tell you every detail you need to know so you can do the same. I randomly remembered that I had this experience, that I slept at the aquarium, so I asked my boyfriend Frank if he got the chance to sleep in the aquarium, would he do it? Yes, he was all for it. So right before we were purchasing the tickets, he said, hey, why don't we invite your grandparents? The moment I spoke with my grandmother, she was all in, so now all of us are going, and we had to drag my grandfather with us. But then we also couldn't forget one of the coolest kids I know, and his name is Leroy, so that's how 2 became 5. Now, let me tell you a little bit of advice whenever you're driving to Atlanta. Leave 2 hours early. There is always something happening on 85. So we started heading towards Atlanta at 5:45. We would pretty much get there 10 minutes before check-in time, which is from 6:30 to 7:15. I only pray the people involved were okay, but there's no way to sugarcoat it. A car was on fire on 85. Now the ETA is saying 6:45, and we were less than a mile away from the aquarium, and we were stuck in the same area for a good 20 minutes. Now the good thing is that Frank knows Atlanta, and if it were between us who would be driving to Atlanta, it will always be him, because people cannot drive, and I'm just a girl. We took 2 elevators, walked across the entire parking lot, then walked around the entire perimeter trying to find the entrance. And Frank is already there saying, "What took you so long?" Now we're at check-in, and thank God that they checked us in, they took our bags, they let us put them on these racks, and they pretty much showed us to Ocean Voyager. Ocean Voyager is where the big whale sharks are. So now we're getting introduced to our guides, Scott and Dale, who loved my earrings. I thought they were perfect for the occasion, and my slippers. They were truly amazing to us throughout our stay, and at first we did some activities and learned that Georgia Aquarium partners with researchers, so one of the things they do is help researchers track whale sharks. This is because we know close to nothing about them. That's the whole point of tracking them, is to see and continue to learn more about the whale sharks. We also got to hold a tracker that was no longer able to be used, and this kid, just watch what this kid does.
Tradition again, but again, you have to keep your groups together, all right?
Did you just?
Everybody get that?
We also continued to do another activity to help us understand how we need to protect our ecosystems like forests, estuaries, deserts, etc., and how protecting the earth is important, because if not, we could lose them forever. So for the moms out there who are like, I don't want to spend all this money, just to sleep over, they're being educated too. But after checking out some other areas, we went to have a snack. I had fruit snacks and Doritos, and we brought our luggage into the exhibit where we would be sleeping, which was predators of the deep. So this is where the hammerheads, silver tips, and tiger sharks are. And Dale was so sweet. She actually brought 2 extra pads for them to sleep a little more comfortably, and I love Dale. Sorry, Dale, but we actually snuck in a lunchbox. I pre-packed it with everything to make sandwiches. The best part was we got to stuff the sandwiches, since the ham and cheese was going to go bad after a while. Picture when the workers came to say goodnight to us, we hid the sandwiches behind the sleeping bags, and it's really dark in there. So I just stopped eating, and my cheeks are full, and I just look like a chipmunk because I had sandwich. It was incredible sleeping next to these creatures, but it was terrifying when you wake up in the middle of the night and think one of them is coming for your feet. Now, the worst part, I think, is probably the next day when you wake up at 6 a.m. So this is me at 5 in the morning, having to go to the bathroom, and it felt so unreal being in the aquarium when nobody is there. It was honestly so relaxing, and I stayed up until 6, and I just watched the sharks as they passed by.
Why 6 minus 7? 8 or 9?
Good morning, Leroy.
I stayed up.
Yeah, me too. So now we pretty much did our whole morning routine and set everything in the car, and they let us take a shortcut, which is pretty much letting us view the ballroom, which cuts into the parking lot, which was amazing because we didn't have to go outside in the cold. And the ballrooms are of course where they host events and meetings. You can actually have celebrations there, and we were able to see parts of Ocean Voyager as we were in there, which I thought was pretty cool. We had breakfast. I of course stole my grandfather's apple juice along with French toast, and we were able to look out at the city. We were able to see like Coca-Cola World and some parts of the skyline, and it was Afterwards, we went back to Ocean Voyager to watch the whale shark feeding, and we talked about everything we learned the day prior. After this, we went back with our tour guides to continue exploring behind the scenes and eventually found ourselves in one of the areas where they filter the water. Now, this place is huge, and it is so crazy to learn that this is only one of 3 areas that controls just Ocean Voyager. This isn't including any of the other exhibits, and they have a special dock where they can transport animals and put them right into their exhibits. We also found the clinics where smaller animals like penguins will walk to their appointment, and we were able to view the lab where they make sure the water and salt levels are good and monitored. So this was Leroy's favorite part. We actually went to go pet some stingrays. You happy?
Yeah. Let's go to the other one.
Oh my god, okay. Huh?
You want to touch it?
I do, but they're too low. Why? They're not, no, they're sturgeon. I don't know what they are. It's not a shark though. It's a sturgeon.
That was gonna get you wet. This is gonna get your shoulder.
Oh, up. Ah, ew. We continued to go above Tropical Diver, which we now labeled the Nemo tank, since you see almost all the fish and characters.
I get cold easy, so I'm wearing a 5mm wetsuit, which is a little thicker, so it's supposed to help me.
So we actually ran into this diver. Leroy talked with him a bunch, and he was actually replacing the old sand with new sand for these fish. Oh, wow.
The largest one right here is literally about 15, 17 feet. They get 30 feet.
After this, we recapped over everything we did and learned, and we also got to learn about this beauty named Bayla, who was a juvenile North Atlantic right whale who passed away due to an entanglement with fishing gear and ingesting so much plastic, which made her feel full, causing her to not get the nutrients she needed. It was very interesting and eye-opening to learn about these animals because North Atlantic right whales are critically endangered, only leaving about 370 left as of 2023. It made us realize how much of a role we have in the ecosystem and how it is our job to protect it. We slowly made our way to various booths to continue learning how to help the environment by lowering our carbon footprint, recycling, and even citizen researching. Unfortunately, the program was coming to a close, but we took photos with Dale and Scott to let them know how much we appreciated them and how much we loved the experience and impact they had on us. But one of the greatest things is that we were able to continue exploring the remainder of the exhibits and got some expensive slushies. We also made it to the dolphin show at 11:30. Free tickets! Strike! Woo! Oh, I see 3 more.
Oh.
thank you for discovering the world of the bottlenose dolphin today.
Yes, they are like the size of that's awesome. They have them in all the different sizes. So umbrella aquaculture. So one day I had to do a water change on a jelly habitat. It was and what it was.
Oh, look at it.
Make sure you have the filter on.
The filter was on.
He's good. Oh, look, he's scratching himself.
So first thing I need to know are just about being present, making sure that you are here and recognizing like the really cool opportunity you're having. So like if you have a cell phone or an iPad or anything like that, you're welcome to take pictures. There's very few places that you cannot take even a flash photography picture. We'll let you know where that is. What we don't want to make sure we do though is we want to make sure you're not on social media all the time. Or you're not, having your headphones on with the music blasting.
Last, we hit the gift shop and headed to Luciano's in Lawrenceville for lunch, where we knew we did good because this was Leroy an hour later. Now, this weekend was definitely one to remember, but we haven't finished because I forgot to mention how many photos Leroy took. Over 350. Most of these photos were taken after we gave him a slushie and he got too worked up on sugar to stay still, so. Leroy, if you're watching, I give you a 4 out of 5 because you took like 30 horrendous photos of me and Frankie's faces and I did not appreciate it, okay? Okay. Here are the photos he took, and while we're here, let me tell you some of the cool things we learned. 1. Predators of the Deep, which is where we slept, holds 1.2 million gallons of water. 2. To make sure none of the sharks or rays knock into the glass, they actually have objects in the water that are hidden to us but visible to them. This is to let them know when they're getting close to the glass so to not hit it. 3. Ocean Voyager is the largest exhibit holding 6.3 million gallons of water. 4. Georgia Aquarium has almost 200 species in total. 5. Georgia Aquarium purchased the whale sharks from the annual fishing quota in Taiwan, where if they hadn't been purchased, they would have been eaten. 6. The whale sharks were flown from Taipei to Taiwan, then to Atlanta on a specially configured B-747 freighter aircraft with a 24/7 medical staff to maintain water quality in case of an emergency. 7. Due to their research, they have tracked thousands of whale sharks to continue learning how they live. 8. The Georgia Aquarium is the largest aquarium in the Western Hemisphere and number 6 in the world. 9. The Georgia Aquarium opened November 23, 2005 and was the largest aquarium up until 2012. 10. I am 4 months older than the Georgia Aquarium. 11. Lastly, Georgia Aquarium offers amazing experiences such as diving or swimming with the whale sharks and manta rays in Ocean Voyager. You're also able to interact with some of the animals such as the belugas, dolphins, seals, penguins, sea lions, otters, and even the sharks and rays together. They also do separate behind-the-scenes tours if you're not interested in the sleepover portion of it, as well as celebrations. Now, of course, you can book with them through their website at georgiaaquarium.org and continue to read what these packages offer, but they are all safe and take necessary precautions to make sure they are safe. For more information, you should definitely check them out, and hopefully you're able to donate to them so they can continue feeding the animals and taking care of them, as well as educating kids all around the world. It was very fulfilling to take Leroy here because he's 10 years old, and again, 9 years ago when I was 10, I was here doing the same thing. Now, for anybody interested in the PaperShoot camera, they are a great company who of course take some amazing photos, as you can see. If you do decide to get one, you can use this code below or click the link in the description. By doing this, you can save yourself 10% off your next order. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Please subscribe if you haven't to join us on more adventures with our cameras and for anything photography related. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see where we go next.